BBC Radio 2.
Who said, you know, well, great, good news, how extraordinary that everyone do something about it. We made notes of the two principal exhibitions that were coming up. One was the silver thing, and I think the other was the flying one, or I don't know, it may have been, but certainly silver. And thought, well, when they happen, send somebody along and we'll talk about them. But now, in the meantime, this Kenneth Hudson thing has come up, and it seemed a good idea to talk about the museum overall.
Yeah, I saw the flying exhibition. In fact, it's coming to an end, isn't it?
It ends in May 7th, something like that.
Yeah, it goes to about November, is it? Going?
But this is going out tonight, isn't
yeah,
it?
so I mean, it's got a new one,
How many minutes will be running?
Well, overall, we're looking for, say, 10 minutes. It'll be in two sections, and I shall break us up in the middle for a piece of music.
Yes. If you wanted a recording level, it was the first bit there 5 years ago. We demonstrated you could actually get people to that part of London.
And you want to get it?
Yes, we get something like 650,000 plus people at the museum a year.
Okay, that's fine, thanks very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we really can begin.
Okay then, right, here we go.
Recently, around midnight, we were bringing the news of an exhibition which was being held at the Museum of London. We decided that here was an exciting centre that more people ought to know more about. So that seemed good enough reason to invite along to the programme tonight Max Hedrich, who's the director of this museum. Indeed, Max, your museum was the first part of the Barbican complex actually to open to the public, wasn't it?
Yes, strictly we're not part of the Barbican
But you're in
complex. We're more or less next door to it. We're loosely called the Barbican. I think technically the Museum of London is actually part of the commercial development of the site. I always suspect we were the bit that was left over at the southwest corner, which they couldn't find anything else to put in. But
all right, yes. Now, your main purpose, nevertheless, is to reflect, as the name would suggest, the history of London.
yes, that's exactly it. London, of course, has a long, complicated history, beginning basically in Roman times. We actually started a bit before that. I mean, there are a lot of prehistoric occupation in the Thames valleys, the use of the waterway and so on. So we touch on all those themes and take the whole history through from the earliest times right down to the present day, right down to the full exhibition like curtains that you were talking about previously.
Well, when I made my all too brief visit to the museum, I was extremely excited by it and thought this is something a lot more people ought to know about. So Max Hedrich, thank you for coming along and filling in some of the gaps. We're going to finish this hour of our programme with music that's, I suppose I could say, in Kentwood style, a piece called Lady, Take Me.
Well, we have this stuff presenting it.
No, what it was, Chris, was way off. He couldn't level on.
We haven't said anything.
Recording off. He's too
But it actually causes a lot of problems trying to put it right, doing it this way.
What's the problem?
Well, they've got Brian off-centre, but instead of putting one voice on each track, they've just got Brian off-centre, which means we've got to try and swing the whole thing sideways.
And so to our weekly wine feature, Chris Fielding back with us once again this week. And Chris, I wondered if we might have your views on a couple of items concerning wine that have been in the news over the past week or so. One of them indeed concerns a guest that we welcome to the programme, Mr. Brouin from Beaune.
Just close the gap.
Chris
The fact is that there. The fact is that
At least it's very easy to edit on that respect, sort of thing. Well, there's something you're thinking about vintage years, is it?
No. There was a Christmas telegraph yesterday,
The fact is that
which
there are
suggested that
very few really great
a lot of
messages.
vineyards were in.
Right.
Okay,
Now,
let
who
me-
have we heard? Sorry, you need hearing anything else now? you've
No, I've got all my
that
speech
done.
tapes done. See also, because you've got a real wide variety of music. That first number is a knockout.
Knock out the awful or knock out the
Bloody
good?
marvellous.
Should we look forward to it then?
Okay.
Can I have a little in mono just a moment? Yeah, that's fine. Back to stereo. Yeah, thanks.
Not yet.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Great stuff.
Good, it's a nice picture. Go. Those are in by chance. Holiday in the next fortnight, so I set up this little place in Dilly, and later on there was a couple who run a little local taverna. It's all like this, half built.
Next one, golden brown.
Goody goody. Can you spin this one on a little? Sounds like it's going to build up to something rather more furious. Okay, that's fine, thanks. B14. Right, hi, let's do a test. B14 identifying to Radio 2 for the Brian Matthews Show at 2 minutes past 11. The red and the buzz. Time now is what? 52 and 15, 16, 17. You think you'll be on time? Fine, and you'll give us a slightly early red. Okay, great, thanks a lot. Bye. Now there's two gaps in the script which I realise we hadn't filled. On page 5,
In place of Victor Victoria.
Victoria, Philip Bergson Part 2. Oh, well, it actually says
Well,
that.
it
actually says it,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
out of Philip Bergson Part 2, you take that out and you put If You Take a Morning from My Life.
Okay. Please, if it's handy. Okay, thanks.
And we've got it right this time. The first time we didn't got it was wrong, so we've got it to redo bit, so it's much nicer this time.
Okay.
Good.
So from the top, title cue into first bits, we'll do that.
Okay. Right, here we go for rehearsal again. Stand by for the scene.
And this is Brian Napier with another miscellany of words and music covering a wide range of subjects designed to keep you informed and entertained during the 2 hours round midnight.
Great, thanks very much.
Britain's nurses have been told that they cannot go to arbitration over their pay claim. Their employers have rejected their call for arbitration on the 6.4% they have offered the nurses. That's all for the moment. Our next news, midnight.
And a quick reminder that you're listening to Radio 2. Brian Matthews.
This is Brian Napier with another miscellany of words and music covering a wide range of subjects designed to keep you informed and entertained during the 2 hours round midnight. Yes, it's Radio 2's nightly magazine reflecting events in the arts, and tonight we hear first of all from 2 BBC television reporters about their book on the history of germ warfare. Then Chris Fielden gives his views on wine controversies recently in the news. And finally we meet Max Hebditch, who's the director of the award-winning Museum of London. After midnight, Philip Bergson reviews a festival in France of detective films. And finally, W. Jordan talks about his book of helpful hints about caring for ailing wild creatures. We start, though, with a new single, Billy King and the Strings of the London Philharmonic Orchestra, and an Everly Brothers hit of 1957, Wake Up, Little Susie. Our first subject tonight is a rather horrendous one. It's germ warfare, and that's the subject of a new book which we'll be talking about very shortly. But first, we have some more music from the Radio Big Band this time. Dave Hancock conducting them on this particular session, a tune called Snow Queen.
So in fact it's your segue now right for the rest of the hour.
I stick it in whenever I do it, I stick it in a jack in the process, or a chord in the process, yeah.
was a title. After the news, Philip Bergson talks about a film festival of detective films, and we have one more guest for you, so stay tuned after the news.
It's midnight, and we welcome VHF listeners who've now joined us on Radio 2. This is Robin Boyle in the Midnight Newsroom. The Falklands crisis. Diplomatic moves have started in Washington which could mean America acting as a mediator. Mrs. Thatcher has announced a ban on imports from Argentina. She said she wouldn't resign. The government's mission was to restore British sovereignty to the island. The assault ship Fearless is about 24 hours behind the aircraft carriers HMS Hermes and HMS Invincible. Fearless was followed by 4 landing craft loaded with lorries, jeeps and other equipment which were later taken on board. Now football and tonight's results. In the First Division, Birmingham 0, Everton 2. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds United 0. And the weather, many places will be cloudy with rain. Brighter, showery weather will spread east across southern Britain during the day. Our next news at 1 a.m, and may we now advise medium wave listeners in Lancashire and Yorkshire to retune to VHF, as your local transmitter will now be closing down until 5 o'clock this morning. BBC Radio 2.
And round midnight, part 2, we shall be hearing from writer W. Jordan, and he talks about his book about caring for ailing wildlife creatures. Those are cheap.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, good night.
We start with Bardo and One Step.
I've tried those too.
Okay.
Sewing a suture in a membrane of a wing. That is possible.
Oh yes, oh indeed. In fact, we have done this on just a few bats, quite successfully, because the membrane is skin, and skin heals very, very rapidly. So it's only a matter of approximating the edges and holding them sufficiently. And of course you can use digestible catgut so that you don't have to catch them again to take out the sutures and stuff like that.
We should take a break there for some music and then resume this conversation. Production in the studio tonight was by Tim MacDonald. I shall be back with you with the next edition of our magazine just after 11 o'clock tonight.
You're in tune with Radio 2.